Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Untold Pain Stories. Today's story is not about love. It's about one mistake, one secret, and one family that paid the price. My name is Sarah. I am 35 years old. If you met me today, you would probably think I had a perfect life, a beautiful home, a caring husband, a wonderful little boy. But sometimes, the biggest mistakes happen inside the happiest homes. 8 years ago, I married Samuel. He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. But he was the kindest man I had ever known. He never forgot my birthday. He always brought me flowers after work. Every Sunday morning, he made pancakes for me. Not because I asked, but because he loved seeing me smile. 3 years after our wedding, our son was born. We named him Noah, the day Samuel held Noah for the first time. He cried, "I promise, I'll always protect both of you." He kept that promise. He worked long hours so we could have a better future. Sometimes he came home exhausted, but he still played with Noah before going to bed. Our son adored him. Every evening, Noah would run to the front door shouting, "Daddy's home." Those moments were priceless. Looking back now, I realize I already had everything, but I didn't appreciate it. When Noah turned 6, I decided to return to work. After years of staying home, I wanted my own career again. I found a marketing job in downtown Seattle. The first few weeks were exciting. New people, new challenges, a new beginning. That's where I met Daniel. He was confident, funny, charming. Everyone liked him. He knew exactly what to say to make people laugh. One afternoon, he noticed my wedding ring. "So, happy marriage?" I smiled. "Very happy," he nodded. "You're lucky." I thought nothing of it. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Daniel and I worked on the same projects. We spent hours together. Lunch meetings, business trips, late office deadlines. At first, it was completely professional. Then, the compliments started. "You look beautiful today." "Samuel is lucky." "You deserve someone who appreciates you." Those words sounded harmless, but slowly, I began looking forward to hearing them. One evening, Samuel called me. "Sarah, Noah keeps asking when you'll come home." I looked at my watch. It was already 9 p.m. Daniel smiled. "Still working?" I lied. Yes, the truth. We had already finished work an hour earlier. We were sitting in a coffee shop, talking, laughing. When I arrived home, Samuel had fallen asleep on the couch. Noah was sleeping beside him. There was a plate of dinner waiting for me, covered carefully so it would stay warm. A small note lay beside it. Asterisk, asterisk, didn't skip dinner. Love you. Samuel. Asterisk, asterisk. I looked at the note. For a second, I felt guilty, very guilty. But the next morning, life continued. Daniel texted me more often. Good morning. Good night. Funny jokes. Random conversations. Soon, I started deleting our messages. Not because Samuel checked my phone. He never did. I deleted them because, deep inside, I already knew something was wrong. One Friday evening, Daniel invited me to dinner. Just friends. I hesitated. Then I looked at my phone. Samuel had sent me a message. Asterisk asterisk movie night with Noah. We're waiting for you. Asterisk asterisk. I stared at both messages. One from my husband. One from another man. That single decision changed my life forever. I typed one sentence to Samuel. Asterisk asterisky, working late again. Asterisk asterisk. Then I walked toward Daniel's car. I didn't know it then, that was the first step toward losing everything I loved. The moment I got into Daniel's car, I knew I was making a mistake, but instead of listening to my heart, I ignored it. We had dinner at a quiet restaurant overlooking the Seattle waterfront. Daniel made me laugh. He listened to my dreams. He asked about my life. For the first time in years, I felt noticed. When I returned home, the house was completely dark. Samuel had left the kitchen light on for me. On the table, there was another note. Asterisk asterisk. Noah fell asleep waiting for you. He wanted to show you the picture he drew today. Love you. Asterisk asterisk. My chest tightened. I quietly walked into Noah's room. He was sleeping peacefully. A drawing lay beside his bed. It showed 3 people holding hands. At the top, he had written in colorful letters, asterisk asterisk, my happy family, asterisk asterisk. Tears filled my eyes. I kissed his forehead. I'll do better, I whispered. But I didn't. Over the next few weeks, the lies became easier. Every late meeting, every business trip, every excuse was another brick in the wall between Samuel and me. One evening, Samuel looked at me differently. Not with anger, not with suspicion, with sadness. He quietly asked, Sarah, are you happy? The question caught me off guard. Of course. He nodded slowly. Then why does it feel like I'm losing you? I couldn't answer. Instead, I changed the subject. That night, I couldn't sleep. Samuel reached for my hand, out of habit. But for the first time, I quietly pulled my hand away. I heard him sigh. It broke my heart. Yet, I still didn't stop. A month later, Daniel leaned closer to me after work. I think I'm falling in love with you. My heart raced. No one had said those words to me except Samuel. I should have walked away. Instead, I stayed. That one decision changed everything. One rainy afternoon, Samuel surprised me at work. He brought lunch for me, my favorite chicken sandwich. He smiled as he entered the office. I thought we could eat together. Before I could respond, Daniel walked out of the conference room. He smiled at me. Without thinking, he placed his hand gently on my shoulder. The room became completely silent. Samuel saw everything. He didn't shout. He didn't make a scene. He simply looked at me, then at Daniel, then back at me. The disappointment in his eyes hurt more than any words ever could. He quietly placed the lunch on my desk. I hope you enjoy it. Then he walked away. I ran after him. Samuel, please wait. He stopped beside his car. Only one sentence escaped his lips. Tell me the truth. For several seconds, I couldn't speak. Then, I lowered my head. Yes, I betrayed you. Samuel closed his eyes. A single tear rolled down his face. I never thought it would be you. He got into his car and drove away. That evening, I returned home. The house felt empty. Samuel's closet was half empty. His suitcase was gone. On the dining table lay one envelope. Inside, there were divorce papers and a short handwritten letter. Asterisk, I still love you, Sarah. Asterisk, asterisk. But I can't spend my life wondering if I'm enough. Asterisk, asterisk. Please take care of Noah. Asterisk, asterisk, goodbye. Asterisk. I collapsed onto the floor. For the first time, I realized what my choices had cost me. But my nightmare was only beginning. The very next morning, I received a text from Daniel. It read, asterisk, I'm transferring to our New York office. Asterisk, asterisk. What happened between us was never meant to be serious. Asterisk, asterisk. I wish you the best. Asterisk. That was it. No apology. No explanation. No goodbye. In a single week, I had lost my husband, my family's trust, and the man I thought I loved. I stood alone in my silent house, not knowing that the hardest part of my life was still waiting for me. The house had never felt so empty. Samuel was gone. Noah was asleep in his room. And for the first time in my life, I truly understood what loneliness felt like. Every corner of the house reminded me of him. His favorite coffee mug, his jacket hanging near the front door, the family photos on the wall. I sat on the living room floor, holding our wedding picture. Tears wouldn't stop falling. I whispered, I'm sorry, but sorry couldn't change the past. The following weeks became the hardest days of my life. Samuel moved into a small apartment nearby. We agreed to share custody of Noah every Friday. Noah packed his little backpack. One evening he looked at me with innocent eyes and asked, Mom, did Daddy stop loving us? My heart shattered. I hugged him tightly. No, sweetheart. Your daddy will always love you. Then why doesn't he live here anymore? I couldn't answer, because the truth was too painful. Months passed. The divorce became final. Samuel never spoke badly about me, never shouted, never tried to take Noah away. He simply accepted the pain and moved forward. That made me feel even worse. One afternoon, I saw Samuel at Noah's school. He was helping children build a small playground. He was smiling again, the same smile I had once promised to protect. But now, someone else was making him happy. I realized something that day. The person who had suffered the most had also been the strongest. Years passed. Noah turned 12. One evening, he found our old wedding album. He quietly sat beside me. Mom, can I ask you something? I nodded. Did you and Dad stop loving each other? I closed the album, then took a deep breath. No, I stopped protecting the love we had. He looked confused. I continued. I made a terrible mistake. Your father forgave me, but forgiveness doesn't always repair a broken heart. Noah remained silent. Then he held my hand. I still love you, Mum. Those simple words made me cry harder than ever before. Children, love without keeping score. That night, I looked out of my bedroom window. For years, I had blamed stress, work, life, anything except myself. But the truth was simple. I had traded something real for something temporary. Daniel disappeared from my life. Samuel never did. Even after everything, he remained a good father, a kind man, the man I should have appreciated from the beginning. A few months later, Noah graduated from middle school. Parents filled the auditorium. Samuel and I sat in different rows. After the ceremony, Noah walked toward us. He smiled. Then, he grabbed both of our hands. Thank you for always loving me for one brief moment. Samuel looked at me. There was no anger left, only peace. He smiled gently. I hope you're doing well, Sarah. I smiled back through tears. I finally am, because I had learned the hardest lesson of my life. Sometimes, the greatest tragedy isn't losing the person you love. It's realizing you were the reason they had to leave. If I could go back, I wouldn't change one day. I would change one decision, because one selfish choice can destroy years of trust. If you're lucky, you'll be forgiven, but forgiveness doesn't always bring people back. Today, I live with regret, but I also live with gratitude. Gratitude for a husband who taught me what real love looked like. Gratitude for a son who never stopped loving me. And gratitude for the chance to become a better person. If my story teaches you anything, let it be this. Asterisk, asterisk. Never risk a lifetime of genuine love for a moment of temporary excitement. Asterisk, asterisk. Some mistakes can be forgiven, but some consequences stay with us forever. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this original emotional story and want to improve your English through powerful storytelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next story on asterisk asterisk Untold Pain Stories asterisk asterisk.